Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Grind, a podcast about content creation. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, a artist that's very well known in the kind of funny community. We got NerfAlice.
Hello, hello, hello.
We're also joined by two co-hosts of Waypoint. We've got Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
And we've got Josh.
What up, everybody?
What up, what up?
What up,
Yes.
what up?
Yeah. So, Alice, why don't you give a little bit of introduction and let people know how you got into content creation or your art, or just let people know about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm Alice. I go by NerfAlice and all the internet things. And I draw stuff on the internet. So that's kind of the one-liner. But yeah, I got into kind of funny maybe relatively recently compared to a lot of the old timers. But then that got me into the fan art scene, and then that kind of grew into just general video game art scene, and that's kind of where I am now.
Yeah, I know you, or was it the shirtless Spider-Man art? That's a really good one. The one that you just had for your Patreon most recently, the Black Cat and Spider-Man from PS4. That's probably one of my favorites of theirs.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, I saw that, you posted that on Twitter, and I'm like, I need that. I need that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many where I'm like, I need a print. I just need to put something on these bland white walls.
I got the Miles one right there. You can't see it because it's
Hell
dark,
yeah.
but...
Okay, so nice.
What's been kind of the most surreal, like, moment doing art? Because, like, you've had Jake Johnson wear the shirtless Spider-Man, been retweeted by Insomniac. Like, your stuff is popping off. What's been the most surreal of it all?
G4, too.
Yeah, G4 as well.
I don't know. Like, I mean, it's always just a little bit overwhelming. I just try not to like fangirl over it all. I'm always trying to play it cool. I mean, whenever something gets a retweet by, I don't know, someone I admire or look up to, I mean, every time I'm like, oh my gosh. But like, try and play it cool.
Right.
But yeah, the
G4
the G4 commission was felt special. Like, that was my first time a proper like company type thing had asked me to do a piece of work, and so that was big, like, for me to be like, okay, I can kind of call myself an artist now. Like, pretty cool thing to do.
Right. I'm out here fangirling for you. I'm like, oh my god, Insomniac retweeted NerfAlice.
100%. Every time I see something like that, I was like, oh, I know her. That's so cool.
Exactly.
Like the brag is like, they now follow me on Twitter. So then every now and again, I'm just like, they're seeing my shit posts. Don't think about it. But yeah, it's it's just, it's always just, I don't know, crazy, overwhelming, but then it's just trying to like play it cool.
Right.
Like, I'll act like semi-professional. I don't know if I carry that out, but I try.
For the most part. Exactly.
Yeah, now, something I know we've mentioned in a few of episodes of The Grind is building a community and all that, and we've mentioned the Carl Collective on there. Can you kind of help tell the origin story? I know since you were pretty much the originator of that.
I mean, like, yeah, the origin story was early on in the streaming days. We were drawing Greg Miller as the Joker. And then we were doing some background stuff for that, and I was like, okay, I'll put the kind of funny smiley in the background. Drew it without looking, and it turned into like just a really bad smiley face. And then chat got a little bit emotionally attached to it, so I brought him back. I was like, okay, he's kind of cute. And then he got called Carl, and then and then he kind of became a thing. So he was my first emote, and then just shared the emote among others around the little streamy community friendship group we have, and then it's kind of turned into his own thing since then, really. I think there's about 20 Carls. I lost track.
That sounds right.
But I mean, there's a decent amount of different variations of that smiley face.
The way it's exploded has been crazy too, because I wasn't around for the early days. There was just a point where after I started my own content, I had somebody be like, "Hey, you should go watch NerfAlice, like they're doing this stream or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I got time. I'll go
The
check it out.
family
I've been
tree
interested
stream.
on seeing her stuff." Yeah, that was the first one that I saw, was that family tree one, and the insanity
that was
came
crazy.
out of that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And it was just so cool to see so many people be so involved. I think you've got just this really welcoming place on the internet that's just kind of there to hang out whenever you need it, and that's really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know how I got dragged into that. I went and watched that stream, and then suddenly they're like, "Oh, put Chris on it." And I was like, "I've been here for a week," and now I have a Post Malone Carl. So I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Shout out.
I know your streams are honestly some of my favorite that I watch or have on when I worked during the day, just because you had the chill vibes in the back, just doing some art, kind of hover over it, because on the Windows taskbar you can just kind of hover over the window and it gives you a little preview. So I just kind of look there every now and then while I was working. Now I can't do that anymore because work hammered down, and it's like, hey, no video streams while you're working. So audio only podcast for me and music. So.
But you're the Lit King.
Exactly. They took my crown away.
You thrown them.
They did. So, yeah.
Time to burn bridges. What's your favorite Carl?
Ooh.
My favorite Carl. I think maybe Reapers.
Yeah.
The bright pink and bright blue.
Silver.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
He's
amazing.
got a cool color scheme. I just saw
Absolutely.
Who was it? Fuzzy Navels last night. The Baby
Oh,
Yoda
yeah.
one. And that one's
He's the
I haven't
sick
seen
one.
that yet.
I love that one.
It's
Little
my
child
one.
one.
It's not even my own. It's the Grogu one, man.
Well, it's just you're gonna run out of just different color combinations eventually, so they're just evolving and stuff like that. But it's really fun. It's fun to do on stream, and it's a nice little, I don't know, symbol of being part of a team and people recognizing other people in different chats, and I don't know, it's cute.
I love it.
It's cute. I kind of wish he wasn't called Carl. I feel like Carl should be an acronym for something. I don't know. Just Carl. But there we go. That's his name now, and we love him for it. So
yeah, it's this huge thing. It's oh, what's it called? Carl.
Then there's F&H Paul's Bean Carl.
Oh yeah, Bean Carl.
I forgot about the bean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too good.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I had a question. And I completely lost it. I gotta go pull up my.
Yeah. No worries.
Go on without me.
So yeah, something also that's really cool is with the Carl Collective and kind of the few original Carls, they started up a merch store that goes towards mental health charities. Is that something you kind of is that something that came up on stream, or is that something you kind of thought up yourself?
I think it kind of came up on stream that we wanted to make something fun, and we didn't really want to make money from it, but if people wanted to, I don't know, show their support for the community, or I don't know, rep that they're part of the community, that they could get something that looks cool, and then the profits go to one UK mental health charity and one US mental health charity thing as well. We're all cross borders and all random places, so
Link to that will be in the description. Go check it out. There's some good stuff there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like I need to show the back of this hoodie at the same time.
Oh yeah.
It's just loads of cars on the back.
Oh yeah.
My God. Damn.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Do you have a favorite part of incorporating your community into your stream? Whether it be you just had to print it and ship it, where
Ooh, yeah, that's a good
Stop
channel
a
point reward.
piece and immediately just ship it. Do you have a favorite part of any of that?
I think part of it, the reason why I wanted to stream doing art is when I'm trying to make a decision and kind of talking it out. So I can like talk it out with people in chat because
I
I'm
like
like
it.
terribly indecisive.
Mhm.
So it just feels like a more natural part of the process to be like I kind of have that input and have chat kind of like help me make decisions, or
Right.
sometimes just like peer pressure me into making decisions. I know Trix is always on the ball, making sure I don't get too distracted and get my work done. So I
Right.
think that part's quite. I think that part's my favorite thing. Is like having the input from chat
Being
in
able to
terms of
bounce
like making decisions and coming up with ideas. Yeah.
Some of the cool stuff has come from the cooldown drawings. Like there was the like I think Tim Geddes like uses the moose cooldown drawing as like his phone background. Like,
Yeah.
and then what was it? There was there's been too many.
FNH Paul's got like his new like doggy merch. That was a
Oh,
cool down draw
yeah.
originally. I mean, we've had like hot dogs. We've had
Oh, the bop,
had a lot.
Carl Bop, the hammer.
I'm pretty sure the family tree did start off as a cool down draw,
That
but
sounds
then I
right.
don't know, turned into its own thing.
The chaotic mess that was.
Oh my gosh.
Were we on like V4 or 5 at one point?
Yeah, there was a lot.
So, as somebody with not a lot of artistic abilities, something I've always wondered about with people that do is, and I know that it's different from person to person, but I'm curious as to where do you tend to draw like inspiration from? Do you sit and kind of plan out the things that you want to create and make, or sometimes you just be like, I like this thing, so I'm gonna go make that like right now? Because I mean, I see a lot of like Witcher stuff, Daredevil, like Miles Morales, and I know that you're into all those sorts of things. Is it just like seeing it and then it's like, cool, I want to make that?
Pretty much, and historically that's what it's been. So like my original fan art sort of time was when I was hanging out on Tumblr, and it was mainly Doctor Who and Sherlock fan art, because all I had to watch was Doctor Who and Sherlock. So that's kind of what it's always been, like media that I enjoy, and then I just want to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what's been the core of it for so long. It's when I don't have something specific that I want to draw, I find it much harder. So like coming up with ideas or things to draw isn't a speciality. It's more like, oh, I really like this show, or I really like this game, or I need to draw Daredevil again, and that's pretty much it. And like a lot of those things that come out of that, like I start them maybe like 10 o'clock at night, because I'm just like, oh, I just need to get it out of me, and then and that's kind of where it comes from. Yeah, I'm just nearly always just spurred by pop culture-y things that I like. And that's kind of the way it always has been.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, I like the you were doing some streams of like the game of the year kind of like poster idea you were doing, but then like the Final Fantasy one just took way too long that you just made that its own piece, and the Hades one.
Yeah, it's fun when I kind of like get drawn into doing something. Like I hadn't even played Final Fantasy, but I kind of got like proper into drawing this poster for it. And then there was this whole thing where I was using a sword in it that isn't the real like sword. I meant to use like the Buster sword. So then I was putting the Buster sword in it. I was like, well, this doesn't look as good as the other sword. And then Reese Boy's at me saying like, I'm gonna cause a ruckus with my sword opinions. And I don't really know.
That's so crazy. I didn't know you didn't even play Final Fantasy VII, and then you cranked out an incredible piece, which I did have as my phone wallpaper for a very long time because it was amazing. I'm gonna go try and find that now because I don't know that I didn't notice the sword, and now I feel like I forgot about the sword.
It is the boring sword now. It is. I did change it to the Buster sword is the normal sword. Like I still don't know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But like I
yeah,
think
it
things
is
like
the
that
Buster
kind of trip
sword.
me up.
Hmm.
It is the Buster sword. Don't let people tell you that's the boring sword. That's the classic one, man. That's the other people are just weird.
Yeah, I remember the like when you were starting that because you know you said you haven't played the game, so it's like you didn't really know the characters. And it's like I think if I remember the clip, you were trying to draw Aerith, and it's like she has some arms and some legs.
Yeah, it's just like the passive knowledge of like maybe kind of knowing what them like, and I'm sure I saw Fix play the game a couple of times, but
Yeah,
like knowing their names and what they really look like. And like there was like she was Flower Girl for a long time, Sexy Girl, spiky hair guy, sunglasses guy, like that was pretty much it.
As someone who has also not played Final Fantasy VII, this all just makes perfect sense to me. So
it's on PS Plus now, it's free.
I did claim it. I don't know.
No,
if I'm
now you
gonna
just
do
gotta
it.
play it.
Now you gotta play it.
Yeah.
We're good there. We'll get
It's
there. Don't
so
you worry.
good. Like it takes a little bit to get into. There's somebody that never played a Final Fantasy game before this, but I really enjoyed it. So give it a shot.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
He's too busy watching Daredevil, man. He doesn't get the time for that.
Exactly.
I'm
Say-
so excited. I'm so excited to start watching Daredevil. Like so
And
excited.
now I have to watch Punisher between season 2 and 3. It's just
Correct.
got so much to do now, you know?
I'll say, speaking of Daredevil, can you explain a little bit of the obsession with?
I don't know what there is to say about it really. I just really like Daredevil, and I really admire Charlie Cox's acting ability.
First time I saw him without a shirt, I was like, okay, I get it now. I get
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%. That first scene, I just went, damn.
Exactly.
He is chiseled.
But yeah,
Yes.
it's a comfort show as well. It's something I can just go back and rewatch and enjoy and
Right.
all
Really
that type
uplifting
of thing.
show. Not dark at all. Just
really feel
great
good,
all
you know?
around.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
I know, it's just like
just a high note
it's just
every time.
continuously like emotional torment. Is you just want to give him a hug.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I literally see the world burning every second of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bless him. But yeah, the Netflix Daredevil series got me into reading the Chip Zdarsky comics as well, which are good and have really nice cover art. And yeah, like I haven't read a lot of Daredevil comics, but that current one is nice.
Check that out.
Yeah.
So, as somebody that has worked with, or at least like made things for, or even like just retweeted by sort of titans of the industry, if you will, like Stomach Mike, Kind of Funny, G4, like all like Insomniac, yeah. It's like, so where does that kind of put you going forward? Is like, do you have any like new goals that you're working towards, or are you just kind of like, hey, I've kind of done a lot of the stuff I already wanted to do?
So I was like doing waitressing, so had like a normal job, went traveling, came back, did waitressing for about a year, and then because of COVID, I think it kicked off a lot of people's free time creativity thing. So I'd say like the last year has obviously been bigger in terms of me doing stuff, streaming, putting work out there, and kind of made me think, well, maybe this could be a career if I tried and made the right moves. Like I could live off doing something I love.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a part-time job as well. I'm starting next week.
Ooh,
Congratulations.
So nice little work from home, flexible things. So I'm hoping that will give me like the stability to like, I don't know, just keep doing art, trying to get like commissions from companies. And then long term though is like getting into the concept art game, and
Oh yeah.
whether that's for like TV, probably games, and yeah, just like key art, concept art type of stuff would be dream job. So it's just the slow grind to that goal.
If Alice's art isn't the concept art for God of War 3, I don't want it. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say, in a few
Just
years down
cancel
the
it.
road, I'm going to be picking up like an art of the MCU or something, and we're going to see some NerfAlice pieces in there, man. I can feel it. Feel
Some
it.
alternate Daredevil covers with NerfAlice art.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I can see it. I can see it.
I mean, I would be like crying.
I feel
But
that.
no, it's a tricky thing to kind of like focus in on what you want to do rather than just like create, because that's what I just enjoy doing. I enjoy drawing things I like, and that's kind of what it has been for so long. So I think like the last year has kind of been more focusing that into a way where, okay, I can create things for what I love and enjoy, but how can I make that viable as a way to live? And I think it's something that a lot of people in art or just creativeness or content creation and all that in general is doing what you love, but then can that be all you do, or can that be a career? And it can be. I mean, I'm slowly coming around to the idea that people can make it doing stuff that they love, and it doesn't mean that every second of every day they're going to love doing that job. There's going to be bits they don't enjoy. But overall, I think like it is possible to like build a career out of things you feel passionate for. And maybe that's like the word passionate. You're going to have like some sort of like emotional drive to want to do it type of thing. So I don't know. We'll see. Come back in a year. See if I'm as optimistic about it.
We'll have a follow-up session next year.
Yeah,
next
There we
exactly.
go. Mark it in.
Right.
We're all just beaten down and tired and miserable, or amazing. Who knows where it'll go?
Yeah, exactly.
Either way.
Supposedly we'll all be
you-
vaccinated by the summer.
Oh
Who knows?
yeah.
Who knows?
Fingers crossed. Hopefully. I was gonna say, do you ever find it hard to stay motivated with finishing pieces or anything like that? And if so, how do you come out of that?
I think like where I am at the moment, the most of the art I put out there and create again is fan art. It's stuff that I've wanted to draw because I just wanted to draw it. So like that type of thing is usually quite easy. And when I've done like little bits of commissions for people, it's usually straightforward. They know what they want. I know how I can get there, and I'm having fun doing it. When it's a bit more like a broader thing that you can do, like the G4 thing and like the kind of funny thing, like I had pretty much free reign, and then that I found harder to like focus and get stuff done because it was like the first like 10 hours on both of those things were just like trying to like come up with ideas, and because I didn't know the direction it wanted to be, I think that's harder to like sit down, focus, and put the time in to work out what you want it to be. Whereas like once you start to get the line work down, it's a bit easier to like, I don't know, focus in and just get it done because you know where it's going. But I think like the ideas stage, I think, is harder to like sit down. It's like that blank paper syndrome thing where you're just like staring at a blank piece of paper for forever. It's just really hard. But like when you start doing it, and then that's not too bad. I think like it's an easy thing with art as well, that you can see it happening and see it progress. Like you're getting like the reward straight away from like spending an hour coloring in this thing, then you can like directly see it straight away. So.
I like it. And you
Yeah. Go
do
ahead.
all your stuff on Procreate, right?
iPad and Procreate. So I did like art and stuff in school. I did like A-level art, so that's like until I was 18. Then didn't do it for a while. And then it's like is it 3 years ago now? 3 years ago now I got an iPad, and then that was it. Life changed. So the iPad Procreate is basically all I do. I can't do the tablet Photoshop thing or anything like that. Literally just iPad and Procreate. So it's like drawing for real.
Would you have any tips or anything for someone trying to get into Procreate and the iPad scene?
I think just play with it, play with different brushes. I mean, there's good tutorials and stuff for like how to use things, but I don't know, just like it's a very intuitive piece of software. I think it tries to mimic the real life drawing thing, so maybe start and just go with that. Don't worry too much about effects and layers and all that type of thing. Just have fun playing with it and playing with different pens and different colors and and all that type of thing. I think just playing with it. I think that's just have fun and just play with it.
I like it.
Now, one thing we always like to, or one question we like to ask on here is like any like editing horror stories. Is there any kind of equivalent to art? Like any time you like lost a project or just had to scrap it just because it just wasn't coming out the way you liked?
I think I've been pretty fortunate. I do worry about it a lot because I mean my iPad does crash on me, and it's 2018 just normal iPad, so it's not the Pro or anything. So I know at one point it will break, and I don't have anything backed up or saved anywhere. Like,
oh jeez.
like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should back it up and save it somewhere. And my iCloud's full, so I don't think I've ever had any sort of horror stories like that. I think the worst thing that happens to me is I might spend 10 minutes drawing on the wrong layer. But I think that's the worst thing that's happened to me as well.
Nothing a few undos can't fix.
Yeah. Rub it out, undo, start again.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm fingers crossed. Now I'm gonna be worried.
Knock on wood.
Thanks.
We put the fear in her now, man. You wasn't thinking about it before this.
Exactly.
That's always the worst nightmare. Is just when you're having a good podcast or creating something in some editing program, and then it's just like just closes for no reason, no warning, just boom, gone.
Yeah, I mean that happens to me on Procreate, but it's auto saves and all that type of stuff. So I mean,
yeah,
I think I've got away with everything so far.
Yeah, I think I might have told it before, but there's just been times where I'm trying to create like a little social clip out vid for promoting the podcast and whatnot, and it's just one of those like I think the moment's good, but just the more and more I get into it, it's like it's just not working. So I just end up scrapping it, and it's like it's one of those things like satisfying to know. Yeah, I mean, it sucks because it's it didn't work out the way you wanted to, but it's satisfying to be like it's done, it's over, like it's gone. Don't need to worry about that anymore.
Just ship it.
Just ship it. Well, the Spider-Man picture you brought up earlier, that was a piece I originally done like 2 years ago. Had actually gone back to it to like make it good and that type of thing. So that happens. Like I might do something and not be happy with it, just leave it for a while, come back to it and like a while later, and then be able to like fix it up then. Like that kind of happens.
Now, would you say that you have like a particular piece that was your favorite to have made or favorite to have worked on?
Ooh.
Can ask that.
The G4 We Never Stop Playing picture, which is like the bright pink one, which is kind of like the girl with like the sword and I love that. I love how bright it is. I love how colorful it is. I think that's like I'm chuffed with it. Like coming up with the idea and like executing the idea of what I had in my head. I think that's a pretty fun one.
Now, about your streaming setup, I know this is kind of a little bit different than what most people do because they just usually have a PC and maybe a capture card. What's it like streaming from an iPad?
I mean, it's not too bad. I think that I have my iPad. I have little gubbins that goes in the iPad's butt. And then that goes to a capture card and then into the PC. So there's only like a little bit that's different. So in terms of streaming setup, it's not too bad. I think desk space is a challenge for me. Like the desk I have is kind of small, and then by the time I have like my iPads here, like the keyboard has to be like pushed to the sides, or I have to like pick up my iPad to type and all that type of thing. But in terms of setup, it's not as difficult as people might think. I think it's quite an easy, fun thing to do. And I like, even if you don't love art but kind of like doodling and want to think of something to do streaming, I think it's a good option for a lot of people just to have, like, say if they want to do like a IRL chat-in stream, but they want to do a bit of doodling as well. I think it's simple enough for people just to like plug it in and have like a little doodle screen going on at the same time.
Those art streams are just the chill, got some music in the background, just chatting. Those are honestly some of the best streams just to hang out in.
Vibes.
Yeah, they're good. They're good daytime things because I mean, I go drop in other people's as well, and you always learn something. Or it's nice to hang out. I think there's quite a lot of the fun. And I mean, for the person streaming as well, like in that situation, you don't always have like the game to narrate or comment on or chat about. So I think a lot of those streams rely a lot on the chat being quite active and having people to talk to and bounce from. So I think they tend to like naturally nurture a chat that is like constantly moving and there's people like hanging out in it, because you kind of have to have that aspect of it. Otherwise we're like, well, now I'm drawing this line and now I'm drawing that line. Whereas like I found like when I have played games, it's been much easier to just like talk and play, but then maybe I neglect the chat more because I'm not used to having to like focus on playing a game and looking at chat. Whereas when I'm drawing, I mean, maybe I spend too much time just chatting and not actually drawing. But I mean, it's definitely easier to like balance it out that way.
Yeah, that balance of at least being, a kind of more game side of streaming is, definitely a hard line to kind of figure out, where you're not just commenting solely on the game, but you're not neglecting chat. Like, it's something it's definitely a skill that is something to be learned. I don't know if Chris or Josh
I don't know how you guys do it. I've played Overwatch a couple of times and that's it. I'm just playing the game. I'll speak to you when the game's over.
Yeah, there's some games I know, like I was watching another friend, Cam Koenig. He does the Clone Hero streams where it's like he does these crazy Guitar Hero levels, and he's literally like, I'll get to that. I'll get to you guys when I'm done with the song.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta lock it in, and you're like, "I'm sorry, chat, I can't right now." And it's like, I've got a lot going on here.
Like yesterday, Chris, when you got the quad kill in Valorant.
Yeah, baby. I mean, we can. This show ain't about me, but we can talk about me right now if you want. You know
I mean, that's what this is for. Talk about all our content creation stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have any like something like kind of in that aspect, because that's something I'm just thinking we haven't really talked about too much. Is just chat interaction on the show. being, you know, most of us do stream, like that whole interaction, that balance of not neglecting chat, but not just focusing on chat too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tricky one, and like from just like watching a lot of Twitch and hanging out myself, I think you kind of know from the people you watch and hang out with who's chat focused and who's game focused, and then sometimes that's okay as well. Like I will watch a streamer because I'm enjoying the game and what they're doing, and like I don't really know the people in chat that well. I'm there to watch the streamer, or there's other people where like what they're playing is almost irrelevant. I know the streamer, I know the community. Like I'm there to hang out with chat.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You hit my burning question.
Yeah. That was a great pregnant pause we just nailed there.
We gotta have at least one, dude. We're not allowed to not have
Exactly.
one in one of these.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. People are
Always-
like freaking out if they're just listening to the audio.
Yeah.
They're like, what's happening? Is it done?
Always got to have one of those, and always got to have some pet just making their way into the video.
Yeah,
Late
exactly.
today.
Does anyone have a pet? I don't
You
have
want
a
me to go get? Let's go get him.
Not in my room.
Yeah.
She's usually sleeping on the bed, but she's somewhere else
Here,
today.
This is what Alice is here for.
Yeah, I know. This is what I need. Oh, goodness. It's not time.
We'll fix that up.
He's
for
all
you.
fancy today.
He's all fancy today. And he's delirious because he was napping, and I picked him up. Hey, buddy. His name is Cusco.
Hello,
From
Cusco.
Emperor's New Groove.
From Emperor's New Groove, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's correct. Because the shelter we picked him up from, the other dachshund that was in the thing with him was named Pacha, so you had Cusco and Pacha. And
Oh.
we were very excited to learn that they had Disney names because my wife and I love Disney, and they were like, "Do you want to change his name?" And we went, "No, we do not." But he's a dachshund and beagle mix.
Ooh.
So,
Oh my
so
goodness.
he's long and fat and has big ears.
This is what we
That's what he
needed.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the little cherry on top, I think. Was
Exactly.
waking up my
Absolutely.
dog.
Absolutely.
So, something we've been asking everybody that's been on the show. What is your most anticipated game of the year coming up?
I've forgotten the name of it, and it's when I've tweeted that I've forgotten the name about it before as well. Romancing swords, and it's like a dungeon thing, and then the swords are your
Boyfriend
boyfriends.
Dungeon?
Boyfriend Dungeon? Is it Boyfriend Dungeon?
I think that's the name of it.
I've
wanna
never
play
heard
that.
of this.
Yeah.
Game. I'm
It's
so
Yeah.
It's a dating sim,
They've
but
said
it's
that I
also
think it
a
is
dungeon
Boyfriend
crawler.
Dungeon.
And you basically, the swords, your weapons you use in the dungeon are the people you date in real life.
I have to look this up.
The more,
This is
I feel
the
like-
better
crazy.
connection
I
you
feel like I
have,
need
the
to see
stronger the
this.
weapon is. It looks really cool.
Hold on.
Interesting.
It's called Boyfriend.
Oh my god.
Boyfriend Dungeon, yeah, now you've said it. Now you've said it.
I
Boyfriend
need to see
Dungeon.
it.
It's
I'm drafting this right after the stream.
Yo, this looks crazy.
It does. Like, it was at some digital presentation. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, it was at something, and I was just like, I think it was the same one Bug Snacks trailer was at, but time has no meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where's the bug snacks art, Alice? Real
Was
question.
it Bug Snacks are? I don't know. That
Yeah.
hasn't happened again. I haven't played.
Oh, come on.
I still need to play that too. I only played like the first hour. Just moved on to other stuff.
It
I don't own a
slaps.
PS5, so
And were you drawing in school prior to this? Did
Yeah.
you
So
ever take art classes?
I did A-level art. So that's kind of like the went up to 18. I don't know what your equivalent is.
Beats me.
It's like different
So-
languages at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like when I was 18. I was still doing like art in school, and then so like my four things, like my 4 A levels I left school with was art, chemistry, physics, and maths. So it was the type of thing where like I kept doing art because I enjoyed it, but like I was doing like all like the academic stuff because that's where I thought I was gonna go.
Right.
So yeah, like I mean, I've always been drawing and painting and art stuff has like always been my fave. Kind of like stopped for a while, and then like my Tumblr days were like again Sherlock and Doctor Who, and then like brought it back for a bit, and then it went on the simmer, and then yeah, iPad. That I bought my iPad in the airport on my way to go to Canada. So when I went to live in Canada for a while, like traveling, and then that was like iPad time. That was shirtless Spider-Man painting time, and like that kind of kicked off so much.
Yeah, for sure. That just announced this past week the Johnny Ace Patreon Platinum tier, which that
looks
piece,
amazing.
yeah,
Incredible piece, yeah.
Like that, like I mean, just being asked to do that, I was just like, oh, like
That's
trying to play it cool, like just on the email,
Yeah,
being
I
like,
think I can.
sure, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can work something in for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It'll take an hour at the most, maybe 2. Not upwards of 20. Sorry to put you on blast like that.
It was. I mean, it was. I think because it meant so much to me, there was a lot of pressure that I put on myself in terms of like the amount of time I spent like kind of coming up with the idea and playing with all like effects and layers and like making tiny changes. So yeah, like, it took me time, but like it was good.
I was gonna say, from conception to finished product, what would you say the average amount of time you spend on a piece is?
So like Procreate records your screen time, so it records how long you draw for. So when I watch those back, some of the more like finished things, we're talking about 12 hours draw time. So that's not looking up references, staring at the canvas in a pit of despair. Like that's just like literal draw time. So I say between like 6 and 12 hours is the usual bubble for a normal piece. And then some things are like way quicker and some things way longer. Like that's kind of like the bubble of time. And I don't know if that's a long time or a short time. I haven't like gone and done a poll, so I don't know. Like I feel like I take a very long time, but it's hard to know.
And what would you say your favorite what's your favorite part of the process? Would it be more that concepting phase, or adding up the final touches?
I think when I start to put the color in, so I've kind of like got the ideas. When it gets to like, I'm not a proper line art person. When it gets to kind of like the line art stage, I've done some more playing around, and then like when the first hour you start to put color in, just like makes the pace like you know where it's going. I think that's my favorite part. Is like when you start to put the color on and you're seeing like that dramatic change straight away, and it's like, okay, I can see where this will look when it's finished. I think that's my favorite part. It's like when you start to put down the color.
And do you have a favorite palette you like to use, or favorite set of colors?
I mean, bright colors at the moment. There's just been like a art of vibrancy tag going around on Twitter that I've been enjoying. But yeah, at the moment, like bright pink, bright blue, just bright solid colors just bring me so much happiness. Just put color in everything.
That's one thing that's cool. I noticed on your streams, like Procreate, it has that cool animation where when it fills the color. It's just Yeah,
That's oddly satisfying.
I was just gonna say satisfying animation.
It's satisfying to
It's
do as
relaxing
well.
to watch.
Like when you get like your finger and like you tap on the color and just like drag it onto the screen and then it's colorful.
It hits different for sure.
Mhm.
And then I know you said you take a lot of inspiration from the pop culture you like for your paintings, but do you have any other artists you'd recommend or take inspiration from?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of like more traditional artists, and my mind just isn't focusing on anything like that.
enough.
There's gonna be people who I can't remember the name of. There's Tifano, the guy who does the Daredevil covers. Like
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
his stuff
God,
is
really.
amazing.
hmm
There's an artist called Dave something. This is a problem, like scrolling like Twitter and Instagram, and I don't actually absorb their names. He's done some like really cool Spider-Man art and like Venom art, which is like, and his like bigger complex pieces are amazing.
hmm
There's also a guy like I bring up on the stream quite a lot called Cynics, and he does like YouTube videos of his process, and he's like a digital painter, but like he can explain complicated art concepts in a way that I can kind of understand. So like he's great. But yeah, it's I follow a lot of art on Twitter. Like I follow a lot of art on Twitter, and I sometimes feel like maybe I retweet too much of it, and it might be annoying for people who follow me. But I think that's like one of my like favorite ways to be influenced or inspiration is just like the breadth and amazing talent that just exists on Twitter. And some people have like 1,000 followers, some people have like 10,000 followers plus, but you just like see it all on your feed and it's like, that's cool, they done that well, that's fun, that looks pretty, that's colorful. And I mean, just I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but just like that constant like stream or bombardment of just like art
Art.
and scrolling the Twitter is fun, is great.
And that's the way to get inspiration sometimes, is just seeing what other people are doing. That's how you get inspiration. Like, I mean, like us just talking about streaming, like just how certain people are doing things, and you can, rather than just copying that, you can take elements from, oh, I like what this person's doing here, this one's doing here, this one's doing here, and make that into your own.
So like you don't have to be the first, you just have to do it your way.
Exactly.
Like you don't have to be the first person to do it, but if you're doing it your way, then that's great.
And with seeing so much on Twitter, do you ever find yourself comparing your art to others?
I mean, who doesn't?
Fair enough.
You would have to have like a really great, like cool strength and sense of self to not fall down that rabbit hole.
Right.
And I mean, it happens. I mean, how many likes or how much traction a certain piece might get over another piece, so I can compare myself to myself. Like, but this took me ages. It has less likes. But yeah, and you're seeing people do like amazing stuff, and you'll be like, oh, I wish I could do that. But I think overall I try and be good about not dwelling in it, and I think like say about 50% of the artists I follow are kind of like community artists, because I mean we're lucky enough to be part of like a wider community of like amazing artists and people producing like I don't know, photoshops and fan art and all that type of stuff. So when I'm seeing their things, I'm just happy for them and super like appreciative of that we're a part of this community. So I like to think that that feeling prevails over the their stuff is really good and I'm not that good.
That's a great way to put it and look at it.
But it's, I mean, everyone's always going to compare themselves to other people, and I mean, jealousy is horrible and it hurts your tummy and it's the worst thing. So I think like when you can see other people that you admire, and you can feel like great and gratitude and happiness that like we're all part of the same community, all like pushing towards the same thing about like making fun things for people to look at. I think if you focus on that side more, at least then you can like be a bit happier. Otherwise you'd be very sad all the time.
That was a
Rising tide raises all
very
ships.
exactly. That was a
Roman
very
grind.
wholesome. That was very wholesome and just uplifting. Oh my God, that was beautiful.
Like
I think about it a lot. I mean, I
Mhm.
am forever very grateful to be like part of like a supportive and lovely community, and just seeing people creating cool stuff all the time, and like finding new people like posting art. It's like, I've never seen you post art before, now you're doing it. That was just so fun and cool. I mean, like focusing on those like feelings is definitely better.
Right.
Yeah, like that was such a cool thread. Because Kind of Funny recently did their new MCU in review, and they literally copied the style and how like they show all the moments from like in the Marvel Studios. They did it basically with Kind of Funny like fan art, and that was such a cool thread to just scroll through every single one, and they literally shouted out who everybody was, who that piece was done by. It's like, man, there are some talented best friends out there.
Absolutely.
And bring it
Yeah,
on
it's
full
fun.
circle,
Like, I mean,
that was the shirtless Spider-Man was in that.
yeah, it was. I think that this is why it's like a little bit like fresh in my head as well. Like these thoughts of just being like just incredibly grateful to be part of all this fun stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, I won't get emotional. I'll keep calm. But yeah, it's a special thing when you think about it. I mean, we can't take it for granted. I mean, the fact that you guys asked me to like come on and like hang with you and stuff like that as well, just like as part of that, like expanding, and I don't know, it's very sweet.
Now you got me crying.
I know, man. What the hell?
Emotional on a Saturday afternoon.
Goodness gracious.
Got me crying in the club.
Well, this has been a great episode. Please let everybody know where they can follow your work.
Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm just NerfAlice everywhere, I think. So if there's a platform, search NerfAlice, I might be there. I mean, I have TikTok, not that I use it, but yeah, search NerfAlice, that's probably me.
Well, thank you all for watching. Yeah, I don't know what that was. We'll see you at the next Waypoint.